Welcome to CARDESIGN.ACADEMY and the continuation on my series of rendering automotive interiors using 3D model screenshots. In this case, this is an off-road electric vehicle which I designed in Gravity Sketch, and so designed the exterior for it in Gravity Sketch and then proceeded to do an interior. And designing in Gravity Sketch, designing interiors in Gravity Sketch is a really game-changing way of developing an interior, because it really puts you in the environment as you're designing it. It's almost like you're sitting in the driver's seat and just designing the vehicle around you. And so this particular image is really about focusing on that driver cockpit, the steering wheel, the gauge cluster. And so now I'm doing an initial sketch layer. So I've taken the original data image and I've made it transparent, and now I'm doing this hand-sketched overlay using a thin pencil tool. And that just goes a long way to giving the image, taking the computer-generated look out of it and giving it more of a hand-sketched quality. But as you can see, all of the hard work has been done using data with regard to perspective and proportioning and layout of details and forms and surfaces, and even light and shadow and color and material. So here you can see I'm highlighting those sort of L bracket shapes which support the rim of the steering wheel around this sort of kind of hexagonal center hub of the wheel. You can also see how I sketched a few sort of key lines which are reference lines which help maintain the integrity of the perspective. So just along the top and bottom of the steering wheel, along the base of the seats. One of the interesting aspects of this vehicle, being that it's electric, is I wanted the hood of the vehicle to be extremely low and pressed down between the tops of the fenders. And so this vehicle is going to have unparalleled visibility. It doesn't have the traditional instrument panel. It doesn't have traditional doors. The main structure of the vehicle is the center spine, which runs through the center of the vehicle, which has the armrest and the grab handles and houses a large battery pack. And so the driver cockpit is really just the minimal amount of structure and detail that's needed to operate the vehicle, and it just protrudes out from this back wall which follows the base of the windscreen. The way I approached this interior was, having designed the exterior first, is I created the basic tub of the interior which followed the outside surfaces, the side glass and the windscreen and all of that. I knew where the steering wheel had to be, I knew where the seats had to be, I knew where the battery pack had to be, and that really formed the basis for this layering of theme and detail. And so now I'm taking the data layer back to full opacity. Actually going to back it off just a little bit so I can see my sketch layer underneath. And then using the eraser tool, so I duplicated the main data layer, and using the eraser tool I'm erasing away the second layer to highlight some of those surfaces and details which are hard to see in the depths of the black areas. for example, the rim of the steering wheel and the hub of the steering wheel, the base of the A pillar as it transitions into this structural element that runs along the base of the windscreen. Then I'm just adding a bit more light to the floor surface. As I said before, working over data, I used a different method this time to generate the images in which the cast shadows are actually part of the computer-generated data, which saves me a lot of time and effort. So now I'm just adding just a little bit of light and embellishment to the floor and some of the other trim surfaces around the driver's cockpit. Now I'm taking a noise brush and just adding a bit of texturing to the image. So as you can see throughout the image, I'm adding just this very, very light coat of noise texture, which gives the image, it takes it further away from being a computer generated and gives it this much more tactile human quality. So now I'm going in with my technical pen and I'm just darkening the shadow around the hub of the steering wheel just to further define the edge of where that steering wheel ends. Then adding an airbrush just to recede that far edge. You can also see the graphic of the gauge cluster. That was something that I brought in as a PNG directly into Gravity Sketch and was able to position it optimally so that you could see it through the steering wheel. And so that also came in through the screenshot, so I didn't have to go and add that. So now I'm using my fine pencil tool in black and just embellishing some of those details and sections in order to give it more and more realism and more of a sort of hand-sketched, hand-illustrated quality. Just highlighting some of those parting gaps and thicknesses. Just highlighting this red trim around the steering wheel. That's one of the sort of color and materials decisions that I made, which was to have this high contrast black interior environment with these nearly white or light gray trim pieces which overlay that black tub, giving it a layered look, and then having these very functional technical objects being in this bright red color. So for example, the grab handles and the trim rings around the vents, and then the steering wheel, just this base of the steering wheel just gives it that mechanical, functional, off-road capable quality. Just highlighting and embellishing some of those crisp edges. Now I'm going in with a white pencil, and I'm going to embellish some of the highlights. So taking the areas which are being illuminated by the light source and just adding some additional definition to those highlights. So here I'm adding some additional definition to the hub of the steering wheel to give it this more chiseled hexagonal look. Also adding a bit more light and contrast to the brackets, the L brackets, which form the hub of the steering wheel, which connect the hub of the steering wheel to the rim. Adding some additional light to the armrest, center armrest, just adding a nice soft highlight using the edge of the pencil. Just adding some additional tactility and texture to the floor and some of the other darker areas of the interior. So you can see how very, very quickly I can take a computer-generated image and give it this very, very nice, artistic, hand-sketched appearance, which is great for presentations. It really helps to draw the viewer in emotionally and really sell them on the concept. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next demo in which I take on a more aerial overall view of the interior.